Today's Toy Spot, we are having a look at the Hasbro Marvel Legends Build-A-Figure Sandman wave, as we have a look at the final figure black costume Spider-Man. Spider-Man comes with a pair of interchangeable hands, as well as it comes with a mace and a hammer for the already constructed Sandman. If you like artwork, artwork's featured on the side of the box of the Sandman wave. There's black costume Spider-Man on the one side and carried over to the other as well. Back of the package, stealthily suited in black, Spider-Man possesses incredible wall-slinging, wall-crawling powers. Down below, all 7 figures in this wave, most of which we've already looked at except for this guy, consist of Green Goblin, Spider-Man 2099, Marvel's Spider UK, Miss Marvel, Black Costume Spider-Man, Marvel's Jackal, and finally Shocker. To check out more from the folks over at Hasbro, make sure you head over to www.hasbro.com/Spider-Man. It's right down there. What I'm going to do is take a break and get this opened up, and when we come back, we're going to get a better look at the black costumed Spider-Man. There's more heading your way, guys. Don't go anywhere. Stay tuned. So really, we've already finished Sandman, but still, Hasbro gives us one extra little treat to pick up this line with. It's the fact that they give us a couple of additional constructs, little additional things that you can add to the wrist portion of Sandman. A nice little icing on the cake. Really, this wave has been quite good to give us something like this and not solely just give us a Spider-Man. This is really what they should be doing more often. I know they've still kind of done that with a lot of the Onslaught swappable heads and whatnot, but you know what? Maybe future waves, what they could always consider doing is giving us additional Sandman parts. You know, something that there's mileage then with a figure. Future waves can still pay into that. One is a big clubbing, almost cinder block style of hand, and then the other one is a spiked mace. It's not spiky where you're going to hurt yourself, but certainly will hurt Spider-Man if he gets it on his on his head there. So let's bring in Sandman. There he is right there. And what you can do is pull the hand out. And I've already had gotta put these in a little bit better. Pull the hand out and then just simply swap it out to the hand or the option that you want instead. And when we get eventually looking at Sandman, I'll again just put all the little joints in, make sure that they're all nice and tight. I love the swappable options. Swapping this out, I mean, this can go to either hand. Obviously, that can only go to that hand because it's got the thumbs, but I love the fact that you can swap these out to your heart's content. Maybe they could do that for, I don't want to really compare Marvel to DC, but maybe future multiverse figures, DC Multiverse, if they ever gave us a clay face, they could do something in the same nature. Swappable hands, you know, stuff like that. Just an idea. Let's move Sandman out of the way and resume looking at black costume Spider-Man. Generally, I mean, for me, when it comes to Spider-Man stuff, if it's a black costume Spider-Man, or as we had looked at before, if it's a Green Goblin, 9 times out of 10, I'll pick it up no matter what. Even if I wasn't reviewing here on YouTube, I would still pick those figures up because I've always loved black costume Spider-Man. Always love Venom. That's another one I always pick up if I see one. How does this one turn out? All in all, pretty good. I mean, it's utilizing a standard go-to Spider-Man body, complete with, surprisingly, Spot gets a little bit more forgiving with this, but you see how the torso sinks itself really in, and then his legs jet further out from that. I don't know why it doesn't bother me as much on Spider-Man, but seeing him on, you know, the likes of Iron Fist, I really picked apart that figure for having these big bulging thighs. It doesn't bother me seemingly as much on Spider-Man. Maybe again, I don't know, I'm just more forgiving, I guess, for the web crawler. Spider-Man has closed fists, but if you prefer to have open fists, more, you know, web, or I guess wall-crawling fists, wall-crawling hands, they're not fists anymore, swap them out, and you can give them a pair of open hands instead. Entirely up to you. But you get one pair of open hands and then the defaulted closed fists that were already on Spider-Man. The Spider-Man's body, for the most part, as you can see, is painted black. Love the black look on him. Few little accents of white. I mean, in all the areas where you would expect. He's got the squares right where the web shooters are, and they've actually painted a little dot in there too, for good measure. The big Spider-Man McFarlane style eyes. Very, very large. I like that. And the white emblem, spider emblem on the front and the back. I'm not really sure why they did this though, but Spider-Man does have the shoulder blade crunch, or the shoulder blade movement, where you can move this out, as opposed to just the arm being, you know, something you can rotate. I don't know why they did this though, but if you move the arms all the way out, I mean, it's a cool pose, don't get me wrong, but I don't know why they threw off completely where the white is supposed to be. The white, I mean, if I can just describe it with my thumb, should really be parallel to the leg. It shouldn't stick out as far as it does. Like, it should really only to be about there. Now, I know what you're thinking. Well, if you move it forward, it lines it up. Well, not even really then, because it sticks its... I guess it is intended to be moved forward, but it seems like it is just a lot of... I guess it has to work that way. I mean, maybe you probably won't display your Spider-Man like this, that it has all this additional, when really, if you have it to about there, it works. This side, again, doesn't seem like it lines up. It probably is just my vision. I probably have to get glasses, but it does look like it's unnecessarily shaped. Getting into the fact of, again, you may not display your Spider-Man like this. It does look extremely jarring. But I guess the more I look at it, the more, I mean, accurately, it's correct, if only to serve the fact that you're going to have the arms probably like that. The rest of the body, again, just primarily black. There's really not too much to be showed here on Spider-Man. One thing I do like, though, and this is only a figure-to-figure basis, is everything on this figure is tight. This would really be an argument to people that say mold degradation. There's no mold degradation on this particular mold, at least, or unless they've made a new mold. Because if you think of all the Spider-Man that have utilized this mold, classic Spider-Man, you know, clone Spider-Man, Scarlet Spider has also made use of this, and of course other ones as well. But I don't mind the mold. The mold looks good. It's not loose. I mean, even the joints in the knees are nice and tight. It's a very well-rounded Spider-Man. I'm even trying to think back to when Spot was doing these videos years ago. There was a line of Spider-Man figures that had a big, from what I remember, a big giant, big head. And I think there was a black costume Spider-Man, but I know there was an original Spider-Man. I just think of back then watching that video. I cringe now watching it. If I was to go back and watch any video of mine, if I go back and watch those videos, they're hard to watch. But I remember those Hasbro Spider-Man figures, I want to say like early 2000s or so, and they had these big, glaring, noticeable giant heads. So far a long way that we've gone. I mean, I've since gotten rid of all those figures, but I wish I could have almost put that figure next to this figure just to show, you know, the progress of how figures have gone. He still has the duck-billed feet, mind you. I mean, that's a staple for Spider-Man, but at least Spider-Man, I can accept it. Other figures making use of this mold, not so much. When it comes to Spider-Man's posability, his head does rotate all the way around. I know this sounds like a broken record because Spot always does the articulation for all these videos, but the only reason why I do it is, let's say you only watched this video and you didn't watch any of the other Marvel Legends. You would like to probably know how the articulation is on these figures, and that's why I do them for every single review. I know it sounds, after a while, a little tedious that you have to sit through, you know, a rotation on the wrist, blah, 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 a bend at the elbow, blah, 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 a crunch in the torso, blah, blah, blah. But again, I do it just because if you watch this video on its own, I encourage you to watch all the other videos, but if you watch it just on its own, you know, it kind of covers the basics. So, once again, the shoulder blade, you have the forward and back motion right there. It still looks jarring, this part right here, but again, there's not really much you can do about it because it does look right at that point. Shoulders rotate all the way around. It's a rotation in the bicep. A bend in the elbow, which is really stiff. I take stiff over a loose figure any day of the week. Rotation and hinge on the individual hands. Upper torso crunch, bingo bango, that's there as well. Rotation in the waist, that's there as well. Forward and back motion on the leg. A split on the leg, that's about as far as you're really going to get with it. A rotation on the thigh, top portion cut on the thigh. A double hinged knee, and a hinge and ankle pivot on the feet, or on one foot, but it carries over to the other foot as well. There we go, just straighten everything up, clean up shop, make sure everything's good and prime and proper. There's been many Black Costume Spider-Man. Essentially, for every Spider-Man wave that's been out there of figures, there's generally be a Black Costume variant right around the corner. Of all the Black Costume variants, and I've picked up pretty much all of them if you watch my video reviews, somebody would say, well, Spot, do you like Spider-Man? Look at my videos. There's a lot of Spider-Man reviews on the channel here. But generally, I always pick up a Black Costume Spider-Man. That's no-brainer for me. I love the costume, always have, always will. This I might feel like could be one of the best Black Costume Spider-Man, but essentially it's only by virtue of the fact that the figure continues to get better and better. Hasbro, whether it be Hasbro that releases them or other companies, I guess other companies really can't handle the Marvel figures, but really anytime Black Costume Spider-Man come along, I always pick them up. This could really be the best costume, the best Black Costume Spider-Man we have gotten. Still, if you can overlook the sunken in lower torso, this is really a great figure. And I have a bias towards Black Costume Spider-Man, yes, but I would say this is probably the top 3 figures in this wave. I guess that seemed pretty obvious. Today's Toy Spot, though, we're looking at the final figure. This was Black Costume Spider-Man from the new Marvel Legends Sandman wave, which basically just means we have 1 figure left. Anybody want to guess what that is? Yes. Yes, you were right. Gold star for you, sir. It is the Build-A-Figure Sandman. His video will be right around the corner. In the meantime, thanks for watching, as you always do, guys. I'll see you next time.